Good morning, everyone. Wellness Warriors, welcome to this beautiful Tuesday. Hope you had an incredible 4th of July. We certainly did at our house with a lot of grandkids going ooh and ah at all of the beautiful fireworks. All survived, and we certainly live in a choice land. What a blessed place we live in. And we want to welcome everybody here today and for the blessings we have, particularly those of us here in America. And I hope that you saw the flag waving over your street like we did in ours. But to get us started today, we're going to invite our partner in our business, and that would be my turn to be able to do that, and that's to offer this opening prayer. With your permission, I'll do that. Our Father in heaven, this beautiful, beautiful day that thou hast given us, we wish to give you our gratitude from our hearts for the opportunity we have of being in this free land where we have freedom of religion, speech, and of choice, and being able to be part of a unique platform here that brings us together with a company that offers a God-centered opportunity for us to bless other lives with products that work and will bless them, including the opportunity, if they so choose, to become financially free also, whether that be out of debt or just making a car payment. We're grateful for each other, and especially for this wonderful training that Robert has put together, and for his diligence in being prepared to share with us those things that will bless our lives and allow us to step out of our comfort zone and do things that will bring other people both to our company and opportunity, but more importantly, even than that, to a place that is safe, that is God-centered. And we thank thee for all these blessings and ask for thy Spirit to dwell with us this day, and those who are put in our pathway, that we have courage to open our mouths and invite them to come into thee. We say this in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, Robert, two things. I have a story. I believe it's my turn to share. First of all, there's two things that I wanted to do, which was to begin with the end in mind that Stephen Covey always has taught. If we know what the end is and our objective is, it's a little easier for us to get the concept and then put in our lives those things that we learn and make them heartfelt. And today is mastering the follow-up process. I would like to just review two or three things. One, it's about them, not about us.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can remember that our objective is to become friends, that's literally what we're trying to accomplish, in my opinion. And if we can accomplish that, it will come up almost organically, if I can use that word. What are we doing? And when they find out what we're doing, then often they want to know more, which gives us, we're not selling them anything. We're simply sharing with them something that's blessed our life, and come on in, the water's fine. And some kind of that. I know we've gone over developing our story, our why, asking our questions once they're interested, and going 3 deep with those questions, asking things like, tell me more. How did that make you feel? Letting them know that we're listening to them, not just there to speak. And then keeping the main thing, which is exactly what this is today, because this follow-up process, without it, then all we've done is throw our information out there with no end in mind of what can bless their life, which is let us introduce you to it and let's get involved.
Recording in progress.
We've also learned to develop our story, both 3 minutes and 30 seconds, hopefully. I think Galaxy S, you are reviving just a bit. If you could mute your line, thank you. And most importantly, serve. And we're here to serve them. The story I have in mind is a mentor. And I know this story has been shared before, but it is so important that it bears repeating. In my former business, one of my main mentors, who was a family member of mine, an uncle, became the second millionaire in that company. And he did that through a lot of diligent work. And he realized that each of us had that same opportunity. And I believe by his mentoring of me and this simple process that he invited all of his team to do, he said, I am going to set up a process whereby if you'll report to me each day that you made 3 simple contacts, and the contacts mean that you shared at least a 30-second story of something you're doing, invited them to review something that you could send to them, a link or audio or a video, and then do a follow-up, that you have at least set up a follow-up to get back to them to see if they'd be interested, then that qualified. And if we would contact 3 people that we would do that with on a daily basis, 5 days a week, so it's 5 times 3, 15 in a week, and it gave you the weekend to make it up if you missed a day, that he would take you on an all expenses paid ride on a ship where all the food and all the entertainment and everything was already covered. And of course, there were a lot of us that jumped on that opportunity because we'd never actually been on a boat trip before. And this was one that was sailing down to Mexico, and we were going to hit several ports and spend time in each one and have a wonderful 3 or 4 days together. I remember starting out doing my 3, and the first day was the hardest. And then once I kind of got into routine, it became easier. Second day, a little easier. By the 5th day, I was saying, gee, I had several people say yes. That's kind of awesome. And as a result, and this took time over several months, the minimum was 3 months worth. So that's four weeks in each month times 3 months, that many people that I was able to contact, along with a couple of hundred other teammates out there in my organization and in his organization. And as a result, he took about 175 of us on this marvelous, wonderful tour that we all enjoyed greatly. But what had happened during that 3-month period is the number of people who had joined us started to make my income by the 3rd month. It had not only doubled, but it had doubled twice. And suddenly I could see this could become a full-time something versus just a little part-time thing where I spent an hour each night contacting 3 people, as did many other people. And as a result, it drove his income up and my income and everybody else. In other words, the tide lifted all boats through a simple procedure of contacting 3 new contacts. But the most important part of that contact is what we're going to discuss today that Robert has prepared. And that is the income, the success of our effort for contacting 3 people and getting that brave goes nowhere without the follow-up. And I believe Robert is a master at that because he never leaves a contact without doing a follow-up question at the end. When and how long before you want me to call you and talk to you again and find out what you feel about what you're reviewing or seeing or whatever. So take good notes, everybody, because this is where the rubber meets the road and where the money is made, if that's our objective, is to have income. So Robert, I'm going to kick it back to you, please, and let you train us.
Thank you, Jim, and welcome, Wellness Warriors. Do I get any thumbs up or big smiles? Even bigger smiles.
We're here.
You're here. You're here. And if you're on this recording, we want to welcome you. You're a VIP, and on the those joining us live, you're a VIP plus. How's that? And thank you guys for joining us. And don't you love? I do want to. I just don't want to. I would like to once again affirm the fact that I love, and I know all of you do as well, when we do welcome our #1 business partner who created us all to serve other people. So thank you for that. And thank you for publicly, one of my reminders, speaking of the follow-up process, the more I pray and the more I call out every morning, I think you all know this, and I'll be touching on it tonight on the call, on the pulse call, but on my who list, I say my who list is who I'm calling out and who I'm following up with to attract. And I always say, Father, thank you for bringing me blank. And then I go through my who list every time. So anyway, that's a key part of the follow-up process. And one of my suggestions or invitations, add to your prayers, add to your affirmations, add to your declarations. I am a master at following up and building beautiful relationships. That's my words. Use your own words, your own personality style, and call it out there. Call out and visualize that the follow-up process. And one of the key words, I want to drive this home to everybody. Here's the key one. Talking about following up. Following up. Okay, we're not following down. Okay, we're uplifting everybody. And here's the key word I want everybody to walk. You walk away from this call, this recording, or this live with one thought. It's this. It's a process versus this. It's a process versus a onesie or a one-time activity. So realize it is a process. So when we talk about developing and becoming more masterful at this whole relationship building and the follow-up process, the uplifting process, okay, then realize it is a journey and it is a series. It's a series of activities. Think of the individual that is either your life partner or somebody you love dearly, and think about was it a one-time action or one-time activity that fostered that deep sense of love and commitment to that person? Heavens no. You know, it was showing up and being there, building the trust and being available for people. So let's see here. I'm gonna share with you some examples in just a moment. That's why you see me I'm on this Zoom more than once. If you're on this recording, you can't see us, but I'm also logged in with my phone. So I'm going to show you some real life examples. So I have a number of things to cover here. So bear with me, team. So how about we start with this? How about first of all, I share some of my favorite follow-up tools, and we together as a team share these tools together. And then I'm going to share with you kind of an example of a great timeline. Would that work for everybody? Okay. All right. So what are, felt like a pirate this morning. What are some favorite tools? Okay, so I'll just list some of mine. Wellness chats. And I'm going to write really quick. What are wellness chats? Jim Rhodes, Brother Jim, Papa Jim. He gets on these calls on Monday nights, typically, other nights too, and we do these great little wellness chats. Ask yourself the question, how many people over the last few weeks have I invited to join me on this call? And not just the live, but remember, under wellness chats, we have live and archive. Those kind of rhyme, don't they? Live and archive. So wellness chats is one of my favorite follow-up tools because it's organic, it's natural. You got to hear this. It's on autophagy. You got to hear this. It's on energy from the inside out. Sharing recordings. I kind of covered that. Remember, the follow-up process is talking to people who have an interest in financial freedom or getting their products paid for, or somewhere in the middle, and are people who want to create radical health. Yes. So we're talking about kind of two different relationships initially with people. And so remember, wellness chats, sharing archives and recordings. If it's somebody who says I'm a 10 in gut health and weight loss, and I'm a 1 on if you're doing a survey, I'm a 1 on helping others transform their health to creating an additional income stream, or they say a 10 on the business and a 2 on the products, then the recordings to invite them to, or go to your app. And how many of you have shared at least one or more apps on our philosophy, on our business, on the why of Zalevo, why we made this company? There's even a video in there called What's Our Charity, etc. On our team YouTube channel now, we have 3 of my all-time favorite tools on our business. One is called Brilliant Compensation by Tim Sells. If you haven't watched Brilliant Compensation, it is one of the most widely used in network marketing history tools, generic tools. Tim does a great job. And also I'll put on there, I uploaded to our team YouTube channel, is the building your network marketing business. Anybody you have in your pipeline that's looking at your business or just enrolled and you're following up, building relationship, definitely the Jim Rohn audio. It's the #1 most listened to 1-hour training ever in our profession. It's that good.
It is that good.
I've heard it probably, thank you, Jim. I've heard it probably 50 or 60 times, and it never, ever gets old, okay? Okay, so, and then we have all kinds of recordings and videos.
I'm sorry, Robert, what's the name of the Jim Rohn?
Building your network marketing
Building
business.
Your Network.
Yes.
You can find it on YouTube.
It's on our team channel.
Oh, it's on our team channel too, yeah.
Yeah, I've already uploaded it.
Oh, excellent.
One of our playlists on our team YouTube channel will be, it's called the Belief Series. Under Belief Series, we're going to cover the cornerstones, network marketing, our company, ourself, and then our products. So anyway, 3-way chats. And if you haven't done, I challenged my new platinum and her son, Christy and Cooper, between our last coaching call and the one happening tonight. I said, okay, your challenge, one of your challenges this coming week is to each of you do 2 3-way chats, or 2 3-way calls, whatever the person, whether they're tech savvy or not. And then again, that's a challenge too. And the more organic and natural you make it, the better. And then we have one of my favorite ways to follow up, one of my favorite tools is something like this. Hey, Diane, I just want to express how grateful I am for your light, your servant leadership, your bubbly personality, and the fact that you're in my life and in my business. You rock. Love and light. And something like that. Diane, have you received a number of messages like that from me? Just generic, out of the blue? Okay, thank you. And
Thank you.
I just call them
Thank you.
affirmations with no strings attached. Just if you want to, if you've already sent somebody 2 or 3 videos or 3 or 4, whatever it is, and you've had that, maybe the survey or some questions, you know they're interested, and you're thinking, what do I do now? One of the most beautiful things to do now is right here. Don't ask, have you watched the videos? Have you watched the videos 100 times? Don't hound them, just uplift them.
Mhm.
If you're asking yourself the question, last week I have 5, 10, 15, whatever people in my pipeline, they have the tools. Yes, invite them to the call. I mean, one of our next wellness chats, and or send them a recording on, say, the e-vibe. But one of the simplest things to do is just to send them a message of gratitude and affirmation. And obviously, one of the simplest things you could do next is to go into your app and send them the next video from your app. How many love to get a ding says, Barbara just watched this video. Ding, Barbara just watched. Ding, Barbara just watched this video. And the reason I always send, honestly, I never send less than 3 videos. Everybody's different. Some people just send 1 video and then nothing until the ding happens. I personally send 3 or 4 videos to everybody I ever meet out of the gates. That's just me. But I don't send my next anything really, unless it's an affirmation. I don't do any of my next tools until I hear the ding, ding, ding. And then if I hear 3 or 4 dings from my new, the ding-a-ling process. Anyway, so then I would send the next video. Or Barbara, you got to hear this recording we just did with Jem a few weeks ago on intermittent fasting. Okay. So then that would be a way that I would follow up very organically with my prospect. One of my favorite tools to follow up is podcasts. How many of you love the podcast series by Kirsty? It is beautiful. And if you're not aware of it or even using it as a tool, please start today. If you don't know the link to it, just reach out to any of your key upline partners and they can share the link to you. Kirsty is on there. She does very intriguing topics, very to the point, which is her style anyway. And I share the podcast link as a tool. If you go to my phone and go to my notes and just type podcast, what comes up? If you go to my notes and type podcast, then right here, and I can just copy and paste it. It says podcast, a personal favorite, health redefined. I can just copy it and paste it right into, I don't have to spend 5
Can you
minutes.
just put it in the chat here?
Trying to find it again. Yeah, it's on my phone, but I'm on the Zoom as well, aren't I? Yeah,
You are on Zoom.
I know.
You could put it in the group chat afterwards, and that
Okay.
way we'll have it.
Yeah, and it's right here actually. There it is.
There it is.
So podcast is one of my favorite ways to follow up with people, especially if I know anybody, a prospect or even a customer and or a wellness partner, anybody that I know is actually either looking or in, and if they haven't, that I know it has a commute or drives or goes to the gym or walks, I'm going to make darn sure they get my podcast link. We covered next video's podcast. Oh yes, one of my other favorite tools to follow up. We may have to do part 2 of this on Friday, but here is, please leverage our Facebook. We have team threads. We have the challenges. How many of you love the resources on the Body Reboot Challenge? It's amazing. If you haven't seen the resources and shared some of those tools and plugged, whether somebody's doing the challenge or not, don't you guys love the tools and resources on that Body Reboot Facebook page? If you haven't seen it, it's amazing. Okay, so the challenge pages, again, Body Reboot. Okay, And then we have the, obviously the company pages as well. So then we have the groups. And you may be watching this recording when our threads are now groups. Whatever it is, get with your upline partner and they can plug you into our specific any team groups or threads, along with the we're going to do challenges ongoing, and then also the company groups. Your next level starts here, and serve to lead. We have some really fun, powerful Facebook groups, and then okay, and then the other is to any, like yesterday at the gym, one of my new prospects who I'll be following up with today. I've been seeing this guy in the gym, and then he brought this sharp, beautiful lady with him. And after the workout, I reconnected with him. Long story short, guess what? He's a prayer warrior. He's a man of faith. He's looking for something. He wants to retire, but he wants to build something on the side that has, and he's tired of not being able to even practice his faith because in his corporate job, he has to deal with all kinds of people with all kinds of belief systems, and he's into fitness and health and wellness. Anyway, we're talking later today. So so these are some of my favorite ways to follow up, and hope that makes sense. So I'm kind of at the top of the hour, aren't I? So I want to give you a basic timeline. Is, let me cover this real quick, guys. A basic timeline is number one, and this is after you've shared a tool.
Okay.
You shared a tool, now what? Okay. Number one, invite / schedule a chat. I call it chats, talk, whatever you want to call it. And the way I tee it up is, Jim, I know you'll have some great questions for me once you've watched some of these tools. So I want to make sure I answered your questions effectively. And I want to discover or find out exactly what you're looking for. I can't wait to find out more about your journey and how this can potentially help you. So it's about them, and clarify the purpose of this call. And 99.9% of the time, I book the call right then and there. And a lot of times I will say, before I send the tools to you, I do the survey and stuff, but at the questions, a lot of times before I would even send the tools, I'll say, Diane, before I get these tools out to you, I would love to set a quick chat to go over what you like best and some of your questions about these videos. What's better? And then I say tomorrow or the next day, I do the normal, I give them 2 options. And then most of the time, to be candid, I have that follow-up chat booked before they ever get my first video.
Wow.
Okay. And step 2 is obviously you share the tools. And once you share the tools from your app, and you got your chat booked, say the next day or 2 days later, whatever it is, then once I hear the ding, ding, ding for people, I know they watched or pulled some of the videos up, then I'm going to keep feeding them. And what do I keep feeding them? These tools.
Yeah.
These tools here. So that, and it may just be, and if I'm getting silence and that means they're busy, my imposter is busy too, saying, Robert, they don't like you, they don't love you, they don't like the tools, and you said it wrong, and all the imposter talk is going on. So I bump off my imposter, bump him in the head, and then lean into my archangel, and then I just share the tools.
And you just send the tools.
I affirm, yes. And then my next step, then I reach out to one of my support team. Again, I got my call booked. And then I'm gonna say, Jim, can you join me for a quick little chat tomorrow at 4? And Jim will say yay or nay. If Jim can't, then I'm gonna reach out to Jill or Kathy, or it couldn't be one of you if it's below you, if they're going below you. So, and then so I schedule, I add my partner to that conversation. And then the next step, I want to have some way, I'm going to affirm them. I will say, you know, Barbara, by the way, oh my goodness, I so enjoyed, you know, our call. I enjoyed chatting with you. I'm so excited that you're stepping up and you're acting on your health and your wellness. You know, I'm just, yeah, excited to be on this journey. Okay. So I'm always going to be affirming them every step of the way. And as I mentioned, one of the next steps would be that next tool, next activity. Here's a call we're doing. Here's a wellness chat. Here's a Facebook thread. Here's a Facebook group. Okay, I'm going through these tools that I just showed you as part of my process, and then I actually, you know, I either do my call or I'm in the process of the call. And on the call, we can do a separate call on what we cover in the discovery chat. But in that chat we do with them, the primary theme and agenda is to ask the questions. Tell me more. I heard you say that. Is that what you truly mean? How does that feel? We're pausing, we're listening, and going from there. Okay. And then the enrollment process either happens or they need more information. And people ask, well, how do I close people? How do I sign them up? How do I close people? Well, what I found, the numero uno way, the key to closing and getting the sale or enrolling people is sharing the tools, listening. I've affirmed them. I've shown them a little social credibility with the communities and the groups. And a lot of people either on day 3, week 1, 2 weeks into it, a month into it, 6 weeks later after family vacation in Yellowstone. Okay, it's summertime too. Remember that if you're getting some silence, it's normal because people are busy. And 2, share information, educate, follow up. And if you sincerely care and nourish that relationship, that's when the enrollment will inevitably happen with people. Yep. When somebody says on the survey, I'm a 10 or a 9 or whatever it is, and they looking at some of the tools, I have the automatic mental assumption that they're going to be part of my community, either as a wellness partner and or a VIP, until they prove me right or they prove me wrong. And I'm going to commit to being and nurturing and developing and educating, affirming them until that happens. And so that's kind of the process. So affirm, set the chat, share the tools. Always every morning, I would, part of my day, I turn to a notepad over here and I write down my people that I'm chatting with or following up, and I send out my reminders. Like if I have a chat with you, typically, I'm sure Donna and Diane and Carol and not so much Barbara yet, but we will be working together more, but personally. But the point is, how many times have you got a text from me that says, Diane, we have a coaching call here, or, you know, Carol, we have a call set up here. Are you still good for that? So, and Donna, so I always send my confirmations of my appointments first thing in the morning. And then I might have 10 alarms set on my phone because I got 10 different things to, oh, it's time to call Barbara. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much, yeah, the process.
You just took us through a whirlwind.
Yes, Carol.
I hope everybody had 2 pens in case you ran out of ink. That was beautiful, Robert. Thank you. Thank you.
1 second, Jim, real quick. Carol has a quick question.
Oh, you bet.
My pen fell apart, so right there at the end. But one thing that I wanted to say is that over my years, I have found it's best to rely on the tools, because you can't be duplicated, but the tools can. And so for people that may come on this call that are newer and think, oh, well, I'll just tell them all about it. Well, then they think they have to know everything, like they think they have to know everything Jim knows and everything Robert knows. And that's not true. All they need to know is how to use the tools, because the tools will be your third party validation and they will help you.
Yeah. Amen. Thank you, Carol.
Yeah, true.
Okay. So So Jim, I'm sorry, you were closing it out here. So guys, we'll continue this conversation on Friday, and we do want to tee up the Warrior Challenge. You go ahead, Jim.
All righty. Well, the next thing that I'm just going to suggest in the closeout is practice and practice and practice. And one day we'll be as good as Robert. And I would love to say that what you have, Robert, is muscle memory, just like a pianist who practices an hour every day ends up at the end actually playing a beautiful piano, usually quite well. And if they want to be a master, then it goes up to 2 hours or 3 hours a day. And depending on our time, it's going to get easier and easier and easier. And you know, Barbara's so right. It's the tools that you have created, that this company has created for us, that is going to make all that doable for us. So with that, I know we're up on the hour, and thank everybody for joining us both live and on video. The information that Robert just shared is worth a fortune if we will implement it. And let's implement it and practice and become really good warriors at this. Somebody is praying for us today to show up in their life for their health. Somebody is praying for us today to show up in their life for their income to be sufficient to do better than just survive. So with that, thank you again for joining us today, and we'll see you on Friday. I know our follow-up is what, Robert?
Yes, our Warrior Challenge is this, is that we want to keep it simple. Okay, so it's achievable and you can celebrate those links of the chain. Between now and Friday, we invite you, and we're also holding ourselves accountable to doing just two on a daily basis of some of these examples I've shown you. Do 2 of these activities, 2 of these follow-up relationship building activities with your people a day between now and Friday, so we can kind of debrief and talk about what that felt like, how it impacted your people. That's the simple process. And remember, part of it is building that chain, keeping these steps, the Warrior Challenge is doable and simple enough that you can build on them, but you can celebrate getting those 2 follow-up relationship building activities in. How many of you are in for that challenge? All right. Well, people are praying for an answer, as Jim said, so let's provide a solution. Please join me tonight on the Pulse call. It'll be on attracting servant leaders tonight. So guys, love and light to you, and let's just uplift people. That's what it's all about. So take care. God bless.
God bless. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you,
Goodbye,
Robert. Thank you,
everyone.
Jim.
Robert,
Well,
Thanks,
thank
everybody.
you, everyone.
Thanks, Jim.
Bye-bye.
bye, everybody.